Hi, I'm Marion Bloodworth, an employment law partner at Deloitte Legal. I work with a lot of FinTech clients, and whilst I recognise that when you're in the early stages of a new business, the employment law aspects may not be top of your list of things to think about, they are important, and some of the issues that can get overlooked can turn out to be quite significant further down the line. For example, when you're looking for investment. I'm going to highlight 5 of the key things you should be doing in this respect. Now, first and foremost, ensure that your contractual documents are in place and that they suit the needs of the business. Now, where there's a shareholder agreement, many founders may feel that there's no need to have another agreement documenting employment terms for the most senior people in the business, who are probably the founders. But bear in mind that there are a number of contractual obligations and protections that a business needs that do not sit well in a shareholders agreement, but need to be documented somewhere else. And that's the employment contract. Now, the employment contract is the place to set out the key terms governing the relationship you have with your employees, including their roles and responsibilities. And to be compliant, it should contain terms that are required by statute, as well as other terms relating to reward, benefits, working hours and leave, for example. Now, on top of that, you should ensure, as far as you can, that your contracts are future-proofed, allowing you to adapt and flex your employees' terms with the growth of the company, by including rights to update their duties and changing reporting lines, for example. In addition, one of the first things investors look at is whether you have solid IP and confidential information protection, so your employment agreements need to deal with that. It's likely that you employ highly talented individuals who may well invent their own IP, making it crucial to have protections in place that make clear that whatever they create as part of their role for you remains your company's property. Having clear and enforceable post-termination provisions is also key, particularly for senior staff who could easily move on, taking some of your greatest assets with them. Second, implement policies and procedures. It's advantageous to implement your policies and procedures at an early stage and increasingly important as you grow in size. Along with employment contracts, this is another thing investors will consider from an employment perspective, as not having policies in place to deal with staff issues can create legal risk. Next, be mindful of the use of consultants. FinTechs typically have a higher than average use of contractors or consultants, some of whom you will use on a short-term basis. Others will be engaged for longer periods. Now, it may well be that you want some of them to be employees given the nature of the role they perform for you, but they may push back against this. This inevitably gives rise to challenges around how you engage contractors, whether that's directly through a personal services company or via an umbrella company. And the terms you put in place around aspects such as notice periods and fee structures are important. Given the level of scrutiny from HMRC around the use of consultants and recent changes to the off-payroll working rules, it's more important now than ever to ensure that you engage your consultants appropriately and assess the working status of your consultants for tax and employment law purposes, bearing in mind that a status assessment is based on more than just the context of the consultancy agreement and looks at the practicality of the arrangement. Now, if your assessment is wrong, this could result in increased costs and tax consequences, as well as employment law issues around employment status for the business. Fourth, consider international mobility of your staff. Now, part of the attraction of working for a FinTech is the ability to work in a flexible and agile way, which can often mean staff working abroad. This is also a great benefit to the business as it can significantly broaden your talent pool. However, with this flexibility comes a number of potential issues. Where your staff are based abroad, there could be both individual and company tax consequences, as well as the possibility that an employee or consultant could gain employment law rights in both the UK and another jurisdiction. Of course, there are also potential immigration issues that can arise. Tax and legal issues created by not properly managing a dispersed workforce will be an off-putting factor for any investor. Finally, a reminder to keep an eye on consistency and culture. Whilst it's positive from a business perspective, there is inherent risk in super-fast growth. It can result in a drastic shift in culture, a rapid move from a flat structure, changes in reporting lines and to roles and duties. There often comes a point where a business needs to take a consistent approach to all staff, rather than a reactive approach, and to move away from a situation where all decisions need to be taken by the founder or owner. Introducing a line management structure can help ensure that people-related matters are dealt with promptly. Your employees will be playing an integral part in helping you shape and grow your business. And so keeping an eye on the employment aspects of your business is therefore very important.